when I was in corporate America, a lot of times they had, their idea of when people get to certain milestones with the company, a gift that they would give them. Like sometimes there'd be nice watches or something, or they would do things. But the thing about it is, the employee didn't necessarily appreciate that. They appreciate it more if you gave me something I can do with my family, like a dinner card or something. But so that taught me when I ever did get my own business that I'm going to listen to my employees. And the best way to do that is to ask them. Welcome to the BOOMLENNIAL podcast, hosted by the dynamic duo cousins, Chee and Dee. This podcast celebrates the synergy between a millennial and a baby boomer, showcasing the fusion of generational leadership, insights, and real-life experiences.
We'll unveil strategies not to just survive, but thrive as leaders in an ever-evolving world. Let's ignite the transformation we inspire to see in ourselves, our teams, and our businesses. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome back to BOOMLENNIAL Podcast, your go-to podcast for entrepreneurship and leadership insights. I'm Chee.
And I'm Dee. And today we're going to dive deep into core attributes of success that every entrepreneur and leader should learn.
So, Dee, how are you on this beautiful, terrific Tuesday?
I'm great. And you?
I am fabulous. So over the weekend, I was asked to be a part of our class reunion committee.
Ooh.
We are celebrating, next year will be our 45th year of being out of high school.
Wow. That is crazy how time flies.
I know that is crazy, but we had a really great meeting. It was good to see everybody. Unfortunately, we've actually lost 4 classmates over this past year.
No.
Yeah, but everybody was still just, happy to see everybody. We had somebody that brought pictures back and we were, sort of reminiscing down memory lane. But everybody decided that, you know what? That's why every day is important to be grateful, because you never know. We realized that we're at the age that we have more years behind us versus being ahead of us. So we're going to be grateful for every day we have.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm sorry for your losses, but that's a really good outlook to have on the situation.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. So transitioning back to today's topics, attributes of success. Let's start with resilience. In your experience, Dee, how has resilience played a role in your entrepreneurial journey?
So resilience has been fundamental, right? So it's about bouncing back from setbacks, learning from any failures or missteps, and then allowing me to stay focused on the long-term vision, despite some of the short-term noise.
Of course. That is so true. And another key attribute is adaptability. So how important do you think it is for leaders to adapt to changing circumstances?
Adaptability is critical. I believe that with a fast changing business environment, right? Things are just happening so rapid.
Sure.
Leaders must pivot and innovate and embrace the change that they're in. So, understanding where you are right here, right now, and you must adapt to those different circumstances.
Absolutely.
And it's so competitive, right?
Oh, yes.
And it's about being adaptable in all circumstances, because you just never know how the business environment is going to go.
Absolutely.
So, Chee, on that topic, what examples do you have of how you've adapted in business?
Well, I want to say this. I know I'm going to take it on a personal note, though, because when you spoke to, sometimes we have to be willing to pivot. When I was relocating back here to Atlanta like 3.5 years ago, of course, I had to look at getting a new home, and I've been a homeowner since I was 30 years old. So that's what was on my mind, and I actually was thinking I wanted to be maybe in the Camp Creek Park, that marketplace area somewhere over there, because it's near the airport. And then I got a lot of friends on the south side. I have a lot of friends in Cobb County. And then I'm also open to Cobb because I have a lot of friends in Cobb. But I was looking at homes, and I actually have found 2 homes that I really like. And one was a 5-bedroom home and one was a 6-bedroom home. My dad was just like outrageous. He's like, well, first of all, you're in a season of singleness. You're by yourself. Your son is an adult. He's in Miami. He's doing fine. Why do you need such a big house? And I said, well, Father, it's not like it's a need, but we don't always have to just get what we need. Sometimes we get blessed and we can get what we want.
That's right.
And that's what I wanted, because you know how we do, D, when we have company, our family coming out of town, doesn't it give you a good feeling that you have a room that they can stay in? We can all fellowship, we can drink a little, and then at the end of the night, everybody can go up to a room. Nobody has to check out a hotel.
Correct.
That's important to me. I really like that idea.
And you love entertaining. So.
Love it. So absolutely. So, but anywho, I was at a book club meeting one Saturday, and it's like 22 of us in the room. And I was sitting by one of the girlfriends who received this text message that said, oh no, I'm so sad. My neighbor of over 8 years, we have a great relationship, just informed me that he's going to have to put his condo on the market because he's got promoted and his corporate office is sending him to Louisiana. Something to that effect. And I was like thinking, okay, of all the people in here, why am I sitting by her? Why am I getting this? Right. So I just began to think and sort of go in prayer in my mind, like, okay, God, what are you telling me? Why am I, of all people's, getting this text? Are you telling me that I may need to pivot my thought, and be open to seeing this condo? And so needless to say, book club meeting was great, but afterwards I asked her if I can get her, or if she would call her girlfriend and give her my number, because I may be interested in looking at the condo since I was in the market for purchasing a new residence, right? And so she did. And before I even made it home, her friend called me and was, telling me about the condo and all of this. And I'm like, well, I probably do want to see it. So do you think you can ask the gentleman if he could call me or whatever he felt, if he felt, comfortable with you giving me his number or whatnot? And so she did. And he actually called me right then that night.
There you go.
And so he was super nice. And he did tell me that, he had gotten promoted. He and his wife had to move to Louisiana. And that's why he's putting the house in the market. So I asked him, so I said, well, have you already put it on the market? And he's like, no, I have a realtor, but the guy is coming by on Wednesday to take the photos, because as we know, most people, if you're going to look at something on the MLS or the internet, you want to look at photos, So I'd ask him if I can come out and see it then. And he's like, yeah, when would you want to come? And I'm like, well, can I come Monday? And he's like, yep. And so we agreed on the time.
Quick.
Oh yeah, because he was a motivated seller, because he knew he had to move.
Yeah.
So he needed to sell. And like I said, I was in the market. And so I wanted to see it. And I just remember, D, that night, Sunday, I really remember praying like, okay, God, I'm going to go and see this. And if you're telling me that I really need to pivot my thoughts, and that this is direction that's going to bless me, that I should consider, just let me fall in love with it. That's what I just said, right? So anyway, Monday came. And I went to see it, and he had told me that they have 12-hour concierge service. So he told me where to park and that he would meet me downstairs in the lobby. And so when I walked into the lobby, I was like just impressed with the lobby. He had a concierge there. And then he showed me the lobby area had a sitting area like for your guests can wait, like a beautiful living room. And then it had a conference room down there. So
it's feeling like your 5-bedroom house you were.
Well, in a sense, I had things that I would have in my house. And I love the fact that we had a conference room, because now I didn't have to invite, my business people to my home office. I had an office that I can use down there. That was pretty cool. And then he took me, we had an on-site full size gym. And that was really nice. And then it had a room. We had a club room for entertaining. About 6 televisions down there. It was beautiful. Yeah. Absolutely, really nice. The hallways were really big. So I was really sold on, I love the amenities. Full swimming pool, 2 different gas grills that you can use for cooking out too. So it had everything, even though I just bought a gas grill. It's still in the box to this day.
I was like, is it too late to return the grill?
It's too late. I tried. So I'm going to hold on to it because I'm still going to get a house. So it's actually in storage in my office. So I'm going to hold on to the grill. But anyway, now I had to see the place. So we come up, to the place, and I loved it. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. Now, of course, he was a guy. Now, he had gotten married, but he had owned it before his wife. And I don't think she felt that comfortable. And I think she knew that they were going to be moving soon. So she didn't do too many changes, but I could already envision the changes that I was going to make to the place. Now, but I had to overcome two mind shift hurdles there. Number one, been in a home with a yard and, space for all these years. So can I really grasp an apartment concept, So I'm like, oh, well, I did love it. It was beautiful, quiet. I love the Vinings areas, is rated
centrally located,
very
low
central.
on crime,
Yes,
all the things.
And where I am in Cobb, like next year I'll hit that number where I won't have to pay any school taxes or whatnot.
Oh, there you go.
So the taxes are really low here. So I love that fact. But the second hurdle that I had to get over was, I had in storage now 3 bedrooms of furniture, a living room, formal dining room, kitchen set, all of this stuff. And this was a 1-bedroom condo. So not a 2-bedroom, because I was like, gosh, I won't have a guest room, but this also has a guest suite.
Right.
So, but that's the turtle that I had to like, oh my gosh, can I downsize that much? But I decided, you know what? It was in my price range that, if I got this place, I could actually make a cash offer on it.
And what did you do?
So that was a big thing too. And I'm like, you know what? At this season of my life, I think that I would want that comfort level, that I can do. And I like the fact that, like I said, I love the location. So I decided to do it. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to make him an offer. And he accepted the offer. And now things are quite different when you close with a cash offer, D.
So talk to me, because I will say in my time, I have never cashed. Okay. I've never done a cash offer.
It's coming.
Not yet. I'm working up that way. So how was that experience?
It was really amazing because unbelievable. First of all, I don't think we were in there more than 13 minutes. I'm kidding. And I may be exaggerating that. And you only have to sign 3 forms. So what I've realized is all those other forms that you have to sign where you feel like you're signing your life away and giving away your child and all of that, that's all because of mortgage stuff, and everything. But it's none of that. And we were able to close in like 2.5 weeks.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. And another thing that happened is, where he was moving in Louisiana, he was getting a new house and it was being built. So he needed another month and a half before he can move out. So he rented the place. He asked me if could he stay here. And I said, absolutely. But he paid rent to me. So where I was living, I wasn't in a big hurry because I knew I was going to come in and renovate. But it was a good thing. I was able to get a month and a half rent off of it.
That was a blessing for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So would you do it again?
Oh gosh, look, cash. That's the only way how I ever want to buy something if I can. So I'm asking God, I do still want a house, but I'm never going to sell this place because we've got 2 corporations that are near here. Home Depot is to my left. They have their corporate office and a company called Print Corp. So if I ever decide to rent, I don't even have to do Airbnb. I can just go talk to them and let their executives, rent this out.
So this sounds like a good season of your life.
It is a fabulous season of my life.
Well, good. Well, on that note, we're going to shift and focus on segment 2, which is about vision and communication. So let's start with vision. So Chee, how would you describe the role of clear vision in entrepreneurship and leadership decisions?
Okay. A clear vision acts as a guiding light, aligning teams and inspiring actions towards common goals. And it's about painting a compelling picture of the future.
Okay. Okay, cool. And communication plays a pivotal role in bringing that vision to life. Oh, so absolutely. Tell us how, I guess this is for you, Chee, tell us how leaders should ensure effective communication with their teams.
Well, I would say communication first, it involves active listening, transparency, and clarity. So leaders must articulate their vision. You should be able to provide feedback about your vision and basically foster open dialogue so that you can build cohesiveness and help motivate your team. D, like you, can you share a time when you demonstrated a clear vision and had effective communication and with your company's success?
Yeah, so I'll talk about my experience owning a third-party logistics company, and so I was working on this with this major e-commerce company, and so my company was servicing them, and so I had a group of employees, drivers to be exact, and so I was trying to figure out how to motivate them during what we call our peak season, or our very heavy volume time, which is around the holidays. Okay. And so one, I was trying to implement my vision of getting the work done, right? And making as much money as I can during that time, because there's so many incentives on a per package level of, delivering those packages. But also I wanted to make sure that folks came to work, because I know during the holidays, people are eating and traveling and having a good time. So they don't necessarily want to come to work. And by the way, in 2022 and 2023, there were a lot of government incentives coming down the pipe. And so just trying to keep people motivated with our vision. And so one thing, I had to really benchmark my competition, which were some of the other companies inside that same building delivering packages, to see what they were doing to incentivize their employees. So one, I wanted to first be on par, but also I needed to create and communicate an incentive that was better than my competition. Absolutely. So just figuring out that strategy and really implementing that. And I would say the second thing is always communicating with my employees. One thing I pride myself in is, obviously I didn't want to get super personal with people, but I did try to keep a good rapport of communication to kind of know what was going on. Part of that strategy also was to kind of hedge my bet for the next week. So for example, if somebody told me, hey, my girlfriend's having a baby next week, I know you're probably not going to be at work. So let's not put you on the schedule for 4 or 5 days because you're not going to show up. And so it was just things like that, constant communication, that constant evolution of listening to folks. Because I think communication is two ways. You definitely have to, communicate with folks, talk to them, but also you have to be a good listener. Absolutely. And then obviously my vision was to get a certain amount of volume out every day and make sure that we were doing a good job for our client at that time. And so just communicating that with my team, hammering down on some of our main principles and things that we built as a company. So I would say that would be my example of how I was effectively trying to communicate my vision and constant communicate with my people. And then, I think the listening part is key, because oftentimes we will ask a question. We pretty much know the answer, but we don't listen to the answer. Exactly. And so I think as leaders, sometimes instead of trying to talk over or outthink what we think that this person is going to reply back to us, we just need to listen authentically to what they have to say, because oftentimes they're telling you their truth. So I think as leaders, we just have to be open to that. That's more so often true than not.
You know what? When you say that, it actually brings something to mind. When I was in corporate America, a lot of times they had their idea of when people get to certain milestones with the company, a gift that they would give them. Like sometimes there'd be nice watches or something, or they would do things. But the thing about it is, the employee didn't necessarily appreciate that. They appreciate it more if you gave me something I can do with my family, like a dinner card or something. But so that taught me, when I ever did get my own business, that I'm going to listen to my employees. And the best way to do that is to ask them. So one of the ways that I, would motivate my team is I would ask them, tell me some of the things that you guys enjoy and what would you like? I want to give you, maybe if I gave you a gift certificate, what would that be? And I found out some people like movie gift certificates. Some people love, everybody loves Chick-fil-A, right? But I gave out a lot of Chick-fil-A cards where I'm treating them to lunch. But the bottom line is, like you say, listening. I got a lot of positive results from my team because I listened to them as to what motivates them, and I gave them what they wanted. Ladies are into nails, so I would give out nail certificates and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. And see, you learned from your previous experience. Absolutely. And you took that into your business and entrepreneurship. So that's good. That's good. Yeah. So I guess to round off that conversation, Chee, what advice would you give for inspiring entrepreneurs and leaders to cultivate those attributes of success?
I would just advise them to cultivate resilience, embrace change, define a clear vision, and prioritize effective communication. And these attributes form the foundation of really sustainable growth and impact you very positively as a leader.
Nice. Wise words, Chee, for that. So thank you for that.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding. Well, Chee, what does that sound mean? It's time for our ATL segment. Ask the leaders. So what do we have today in our purple profit box?
Okay. Well, Dee, why don't you pick the question and see what what question we have on the table today.
All right. I picked one from the bottom, by the way, guys. So let's see. This question is from Rick, a viewer from Lithonia, Georgia. Okay, Lithonia. Dear Chee and Dee, I like your podcast and the topics you two discuss. Sometimes I find myself laughing at some of their true stories. But on a serious note, can you share an example of how successful leaders have effectively balanced different attributes such as resilience and adaptability in their entrepreneur journeys?
Wow.
That was a loaded question.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say, Dee, that's our first question from a male. So I'm excited that the men are listening too. So thank you, Rick, for your questions. And please tell all your friends about this podcast. Okay. But now to answer that question about resilience and adaptability, I guess when I think of a leader that really sort of exudes that, Elon Musk comes to mind. And what he did for, with Tesla, they had their setbacks, he had several hurdles when it came to his, SpaceX, venture. But if you read his story and you look at the streets now, you realize he still stayed the course. He was resilient. Tesla now, of course, is a super selling vehicle. My sister drives one, but he basically stayed the course. And to me, Elon Musk is a great example of somebody just executing resilience and adaptability.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good response. Wow. Rick, that was a great question from Lithonia.
Yes.
It was very loaded, but thank you for the compliment. So remember, if you have a business or leadership question, email your question to Chee and Dee. So CheeAnddee @gmail.com. And your question may be selected and read on one of our future episodes. Also, please subscribe. Come on, y'all. Subscribe
yes.
to our YouTube channel. Click the button in the right corner.
And like us.
And like us on all social media platforms, BOOMLENNIAL Podcast. Please go to our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter pages.
Wow. Well, Dee, this brings us to the end of episode 4. And to our viewers, again, thank you so much for watching us. Thank you for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. Remember, we drop an episode on every second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 8 p.m. So please join us next time for our episode entitled
Beware of Cyber Security Threats.
There we go. Thanks.
Shine bright and do business right.
See you next time.